Welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways, Coyote on the Highway. Let's adjust the camera just a little bit here, make sure I'm actually going. Alright, slouch down in my seat so you can see me. Let's talk a little bit more now about systems. So, in a recent video I was talking about the uniquity and value of humanity. You know, all humans are equally valuable, that's infinitely valuable, and all humans are infinitely unique. And you know, some justifications for that, like if you apply enough variables, everyone's unique, and how it's really fantastic and cool. The problem is that I came up with a phrase, and I came up with an idea of how to say that. All humans are infinitely and equally valuable and infinitely unique. And now that there's a phrase, you don't have to think about it anymore. It's a system. And it's something that humans do a lot, something that human brains do a lot. You come up with a system. So if you apply a label and you come up with this cool definition, you stop experiencing the thought or the cognition or the experience, the understanding, the wisdom directly, and instead you start experiencing the phrasing and the phraseology, or analyzing it, and now you are in a system instead of in an experience. So how do you prevent that? There's a lot of ways. One way is to try to describe things in a different way every time. And that's kind of interesting because this gets back to communication understanding. And you'll notice that, for example, in the military, there's a concept of readback, where you are given an order, you know, Petty Officer Harper, do this, and then you read back, Petty Officer Harper says, I am to do this thing, and you read it back in your own words. Make sure you understand the order, and then the officer says, correct, Petty Officer Harper, go do the thing, and there you go. What it is that is a way to avoid a system where you're not thinking about what is actually being done, what the order means, what's going on, but instead you're thinking about the phrasing and it's a system. It's kind of hard to describe at times, but it is a system. So we have all these catchphrases, we have all these sayings, we have all these proverbs, and we have all these quotations. And I find that they are often, well, one, they're misused. Quite often they're misused because the person who you are quoting may not have meant what you think they meant. Certainly they didn't mean what everyone else thinks they meant. But also it's a shortcut to avoid thinking. It's sort of like when you ask someone a question, you're having a discussion. You say, okay, so what do you mean by this phrase? What do you mean by this kind of segmentary lineage? It's one I've been arguing about recently. What do you mean by this? And they send you a bunch of links. And it's like, okay, you have a system, you have a bunch of stuff, but what does it mean to you? Like, getting away from the system, what is actually going on? What's going on in your head, in your experience? What are you trying to communicate? And, you know, that's all there is. This is a very short video because I just want to talk about systems and how once you come up with the phrase, it's a catchphrase, it's cool, you can make a meme out of it, you can sell a t-shirt with it printed on there. But what you want to do is make sure that everyone continues to, not everyone, you, yourself, whatever. The goal of communication is not to communicate the system, but to communicate the experience or the deeper reality. So, as you can tell when I backtrack, when I'm speaking in this video, I'm trying to avoid systems of speech. The goal is to avoid systems in expression for me. And so I see a big danger in coming up with pat phrases, proverbs, and trite phrases. So, it's something to think about. when you come up with a neat way to say things, are you detracting from that reality by creating a system? Stay sideways.